Namaste. Hello, India, and big thanks for having me at your conference. Big thanks also to the ministers Ashwini Vaishnav, Rajiv Chandrasekhar, and also to the Joint Secretary Amitesh Kumar Sinha, and of course the government teams that enable this gathering here. I'm very pleased to talk to you today. Unfortunately, I cannot be in your country because I was 1.5 weeks ago with our governmental delegation from Germany in India, meeting a lot of you here as well. And of course, I'm super honored to give you my view, the details on how I see the automotive ecosystem and especially, of course, the Indian contribution to that. We have also our NXP booth at the conference, and Hitesh Garg, our country manager, Hitesh is directly working in my CTO team, is there at the conference to answer all questions that you might have to me, to NXP, or to Hitesh directly. So let me quickly dive into the topic. It is, of course, how does the Indian ecosystem work in the automotive world? And well, India is, of course, a super exciting place for us at the moment. It is an upcoming nation, lots of great trained talent, and a lot of people that, like me, have this strong wish to change the world. So living on the childhood dream to do something meaningful, something recognizable. And how do you do something meaningful and recognizable? Well, very simply, you do something important for mankind. And typically, when we say this, we mean the global megatrends that bring problems to us as society and that need solutions. And for that, I mean, this is not a new slide. This is basically a pretty old collection, at least 15-year-old collection of topics that I'm using regularly. And this is from aging populations to shortening of natural resources to upcoming new technologies, AI and machine learning, robotics, safety and security, and so on and so on. A lot of key trends and sustainable transportation, safe and secure transportation is, of course, one of the key drivers as one big market for us. Now, why is NXP interested in that area and what are we talking about? Well, if you look at the semiconductor market of the last 20 years, then basically what is happening is in this blue phase, there was an area where not a lot of companies were earning money. So that was about laptops, mobile phones, gaming consoles, home entertainment. Big companies, for example, like Intel, were driving this blue phase, not that much companies like us. Then the orange phase. Someone took a mobile phone, stuffed a laptop into it, called it smartphone. We had a great data display device. And what we also have is then big storage, big compute. We call it cloud computing. And you could work with data on demand, call an Uber, order a pizza, these type of things. So this orange phase drove different players into the market, the mobile phone, smartphone players. And now what we think is we are entering a phase, the world that anticipates and automates, and analysts are forecasting that there will be 75 billion smart connected devices out there in the market at 2030. And NXP wants to deliver most of the silicon for all of these devices. And this is why NXP wants to be one of the super relevant players. Now, of course, we will not be a monopolist, but for all of these devices, we have the same ingredients that are required. You have to sense your environment. You have to connect to the cloud. You have to calculate a smart advice for your little robot that helps you, and then send this advice to the arms and legs of your robot. And all of that in a trustworthy way, so safe and secure. So if guys like us can master a portfolio that contains sense, think, connect, act, safety and security, then we will participate big time in shaping the world of the smart connected devices. Well, and what are the most expensive and most complicated smart connected devices today? It is smart connected rolling devices, or rolling sensor platforms, rolling robots. Call them as you like. Automotive. And now the key question is, what are the core driving trends? So what are these mega trends? Like I had them on the society slide. What are these mega trends for automotive? Again, these trends are not changed over the last 10 years. They are autonomy, advanced driver assistant systems. They are carbon neutral powertrains, electric powertrains, as we talk about them today. And it is, of course, convenience, service orientation, the upgradable, the maintainable rolling sensor platform, as I called it earlier, that is making your life and your life as a driver, as a passenger, also easier and more convenient. For all of that, building smart, autonomous, electric-driven, upgradable rolling robots, you need to change the architecture of how cars have been built and will be built in future. And this new setup of having software-defined vehicles in future requires that we are going into more modern architectures. And now I show this picture here only as a problem description, because it is not that there is a more modern architecture and everyone is converging on that architecture and we run again. It is a huge spectrum of different architectures, domain-based, zonal architectures, something in between, upgradable, less upgradable. Every car OEM at the moment is going for different flavors of these modern architectures. They have certain things in common, but by and large, no car line will be built in the identical way like other car lines, not even within one OEM very often. So with all of that, what can we do as semiconductor providers? Well, we cannot build an architecture or all the proprietary ingredients for this one architecture, but what we have to do is we have to build platforms, modular systems that help us move to the future faster, so that help us easily scale and build these building blocks. And in the software-defined vehicle, what we, for example, have is we have modular microcontroller and microprocessor building blocks. And we call them in NXP the S32 family. So S32 is our microcontroller and microprocessor platform. And just to give you a little bit of a picture here, we have these S32K platforms, very small body controller, window lifter, trailer hook, sunroof body control, up to the ultra high performance 5 nanometer latest and greatest automotive networking processors that are really big data management devices that are dispatching data to all areas and corners of the vehicle and to the outside world. So in that entire spectrum, we have modular blocks. We can reuse parts of the software. We are reusing parts of the hardware, memory interfaces, CAN IOs, and so on. And what you can see is on that right side, this scale is existing today in silicon. So from orange to dark blue, we have all that silicon in our hands. We can provide this to our partners. And the interesting and thrilling news is a big chunk, the majority of these devices has been developed in our sites in India. So it was co-work, a lot of definition, a lot of verification, validation happening around the world. A big chunk of the product execution is running in India and also of the product definition. So this entire spectrum would not have been possible without strong and major Indian contribution. So for the automotive world in global, of course. Then what we have is we have networking devices that we are carving out of these products. So we are having Ethernet switches and Ethernet physical layers, all largely developed with strong contribution from our Indian teams. So just to give you a little bit of a feeling how important India is on that spectrum. Now, jumping quickly in view of time to the next area, the sensing area. So safe automation, our radar chips, our driver monitoring, safety coprocessors. All of that, of course, very much needed for the sensing of the car environment. And we are market leader in CMOS-based radar solutions, so very future-proof radar solutions, having fantastic traction there. Again, strong contribution of the Indian organizations to help us driving these products into the market. And of course, very strong ties and close collaboration we have here also with the Indian car OEMs. If I jump to the next one, user interaction, of course. I mean, these cars are rolling sensor platforms, as I said in the beginning, but they have to react, of course, to me, to Lars as the driver. And how do these cars do this today? Well, for example, via knowing exactly not where Lars is, but where Lars's mobile phone is via ultra-wideband detection. Very secure, very precise detection on how far is Lars's mobile phone away from the vehicle. So my mobile phone starts becoming the car key. My mobile phone starts becoming a monitoring device where I can steer use cases and where I even can send you a car key to your mobile phone. In other words, I can share my car key even if I'm not in India. I can send to Hitesh my car key and say, hey, Hitesh, you can use my car for the next weekend. So these type of things are working via our ultra-wideband chips. Again, not possible without our Indian development teams. Strong work there and very, very attractive, of course, having a seamless, integrated, convenient vehicle that reacts to you just based on the proximity that you are providing. If you're going from there, of course, what is the view to the future that we are driving? Well, in principle, of course, your car gets a so-called software-enabled digital twin in the cloud. So in the cloud, you have a direct representation of the state of health, state of charge, a driving situation of your vehicle in real time. And in real time, when you see this in the cloud, you can start applying AI, machine learning, optimizing my vehicle, but also learning from all of your vehicles. How are the weather conditions at the moment? How is the sun? Is there fog? Do I need to adjust the cameras for traffic sign recognition? And so on and so on. My car doesn't have to experience that, but can learn it from your vehicles. In the cloud, it gets optimized, and my car gets the information via the digital twin into the analog twin of the vehicle. So these are these roboting concepts that industrial manufacturing has already today, that smart homes try to achieve, and where the cars are also coming in. So we are helping building the digital twin of the vehicle. And in view of time, I could go on now for at least 2 hours. I cannot, but I at least wanted to make sure that you know that we have built a complete showroom next to the booth that we are having here at your conference, but a complete showroom of more than 60 use cases, how to build more modern vehicle architectures, how to build more modern two-wheelers, so not only four-wheelers, how to build more modern smart homes, and how to connect also from charging to driving to smart home management, all these different ingredients also next to you. And let me end on an inspiring note of how I see the world happening in future, because that is a world that anticipates and automates, so reacts around me, adjusts to my needs without me even expressing my needs. And what you're seeing is the following. We have taken in the past your wallet, have stuffed it into the mobile phone, and payment is done by the mobile phone. I take now, as I said earlier, via ultra-wideband, the car key, move it into the mobile phone, and my piece of private electronics becomes my direct link to the vehicle. I have a lot of assistance systems that can adjust, monitor the traffic, adjust how I will be driven or can drive myself to the office. I get a lot of adjustments around me, including monitoring my health and interacting, for example, with the vehicle. And that is this fantastic world that we all can build, that we can achieve if we only have the networked digital twins and the smart connected devices talking to each other. And this is where India is playing a central role in our development organizations and is center stage for execution, but also increasingly for market access. And we are having a lot of these big upcoming Indian unicorns on the one side and big industrial corporations on the other side as our preferred partners, sparring partners and customers as of today. And with that, I'm looking very much forward to talking to all of you soon again. If you have questions, Hitesh is there, or approach me directly via email. You can find that email address on the web. Looking forward to talking to you soon, and have a fantastic continuation of your conference. Thank you.